Hi everyone, here are the second part of your section 8.5 notes, which gets us into kites. And I realized after looking at these notes that they're pretty minimal, so I'm probably going to be adding a few examples to this just to cover our bases, so you're good to go with the kite worksheet. So what is a kite? A kite is a quadrilateral that has two pairs of consecutive congruent sides. Again, pause this video as you need to. I'm going to keep on plugging through. So we have a bunch of theorems that occur when we have a kite. So our first theorem says if a quadrilateral is a kite, then its diagonals are perpendicular. So your diagonals are going to create right angles inside the kite itself, which really creates right triangles, right? If a quadrilateral is a kite, then exactly one pair of opposite angles are congruent. And those opposite angles are going to occur where the non-congruent adjacent sides are, right? So a congruent, congruent. These are congruent, congruent. So the angles connecting those non-adjacent or non-congruent adjacent sides are where your two congruent angles are going to be. So in this example, we're asked to find the measure of angle D in the following kite. So where are your congruent angles going to be? Well, here and here. I know that all four of those angles should add up to 360 degrees. Since these are both the same, I can make these both be an X. Now I have something inside all four of those angles, so I can now add them all together and equal them to 360. So X plus 124 plus 80 should equal 360 degrees. It's a quadrilateral. When I combine like terms, I get 2x plus, what is that, 204 is equal to 360. Subtracting 204 from both sides gets me 156. Dividing that by 2 tells me x is equal to 78. So the measure of angle D would equal 78 degrees. Because if I do 78 plus 124 plus 80, I should get an answer of 360, which I do. Okay? All right. So that was the end of your notes, which was pretty bleak. So I just want to go over a few more things so that you're going to be able to do what you need to do. So we just covered finding missing angles inside of a trapezoid, but there's other, or trapezoid, a kite, but there's other cool things that can occur. So wherever you have space, if you can just kind of create a trapezoid, and let's kind of go through a few examples, or not a trapezoid, a kite. Why do I keep saying that? A kite, and go through a few examples. So let's first start here. Here's a kite. What is x? Well, x would have to be 90 degrees, right? So what if I change this to something like x plus 5 degrees? Well, then we would take our x plus 5 and set that equal to 90 degrees, which gets us x is equal to 85. So make sure that you can do something like that. Okay. Go back to another kite. Let's stick with our perpendiculars for now. So I know that this is a right angle. If this angle right here, let's say, was 6x plus 5 degrees, and this angle here is 3x degrees, how would you solve for x? Well, all three of those angles should add up to 180 degrees because you have a right angle in there, plus 90. So I have an angle that's 3x, I have an angle that's 6x plus 5, and I have an angle that's 90. That needs to add up and equal to 180. Right, and you should be able to solve that out. So if this was my kite, these would be my congruent parts. These would be my congruent parts, right? So that would get me 9x plus 95 is equal to 180. 180 minus 95 is 85. Ooh, I didn't do a very good job here, so I'm getting a crazy number. divided by 9 is 9.44 with some change. Okay. All right. Let's try this out. If I had something that looked like this, here's my kite. Doot, 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 doot. And this was 17, and this was x plus 4, and this was y minus 3, and this was 21. How would you solve for x and y? Hopefully that's pretty easy. Well, x plus 4 would be equal to 17, so x equals 13. Your y minus 3 would equal 21, so your y would equal 24. Okay, so we think we got that. Okay, so remember you've got consecutive sides congruent, set those equal. We've got perpendiculars that are perpendicular, or we got angles that are perpendicular, right here and right here. These angles right here should be the same, right? So if this was 45, this would be 45, right? And if this was 60, that would be 60. Because those are my set of angles that are congruent to each other. Okay, I think that concludes your notes. Move on to the worksheet.